today we're going to speak about it. It's a cliche, we hear about the data chaos, but we are at that tipping point, especially because of the Gen AI, there, and we're speaking about AI readiness, and suddenly data quality and governance become the most important thing, and data lineage became a foundation, and we're trying to scratch our heads from how to begin. And for today, Nick will share his experience, and we're starting a very nice story. Nick is you're a storyteller, so let's start with you. And you told me once upon a time about your experience, and we have a story about your garage, but okay, start your story. It's not your garage, really. It's your data landscape, but it's
yeah, I think most of us have seen this situation. Those who are around, I would say, BI or analytics or data science, any sort of data management role, we are dealing with this situation, and somehow we are expected to do magic, and it's hard. It's difficult, but nevertheless, good thing is now we have the awareness, and there are tools and technologies available like Octopi, which will help us go through this journey and hopefully come out more organized and better prepared for what comes in the future. So if you can go to the yes, and it is some garages are more messier than this.
I have one
Some
like
are,
this.
some
It's
are more.
It's my husband's problem, but I have one. Yeah.
Yeah, some are a little bit more organized than this, but this is what our data garage looks like. And, I would take a few minutes just to kind of lead us to this garage, or at least my journey into this situation that we are in. So you think about technology over time. So let's say 1990s, where the ERPs is the journey when companies started doing their digitization. And the first phase of it is started introducing ERPs. Then comes the kind of Moore's law of, compute capacity increasing every 2 years and things getting cheaper, and more enterprise softwares are becoming available, and companies started implementing those enterprise software. So you have ERPs, you have CRMs, you have distribution, supply chain, finance, marketing, all these different softwares, technologies that companies in each department are implementing. And now, and remember, back then we did not have data catalog. Back then we did not have data lineage. Back then there was no awareness as such of how to manage data. So everybody is kind of implementing technologies and learning as you go. And by the time you realize, the garage is getting messier. Then on top of it comes the BI technology landscape. So data visualizations and the query layer. So initially you have the business objects, the Crystal report, Cognos, Web Focus, what have you. And then comes the self-serve and data democratization. Like, okay, the click views and the Tableaus and the Power BIs of the world started pushing the boundary. And it's like, oh, I want my power users to create report. Well, yes, it's all good. We want them to create reports, but they are adding into this garage. And few years into it, now you realize you have the situation of this garage where data is everywhere, reports are everywhere. The technology you're trying to keep up, initially using the relational databases, which were meant for transaction processing primarily, now you are using them for analytical workloads. So as we know, transactions are row-based, but analysis is mostly column-based. So you are doing, things by product, by customer product over time, things like that. You only had relational databases available. So you start indexing them, you start materialize views, start cubes, stretching the boundaries of it, creating multiple silos of data. Then you create the columnar databases that came along, then the MPPs, the massively parallel processing hardware based, and now the cloud, the distributed computing. So all these technologies, things changing around you, and we as a data professionals, we kind of are managing this garage. We see it coming. We know it's getting messier and messier. We are trying to keep up. We are trying to catch up, but it's like catch 22. You organize one part, the dump happens. You organize one part, dump happens. It's just so it's a constant challenge that we have, and for most part, we just close the garage. We are like, you know what? I don't want to see it. I don't want anybody to see it. I'm just going to figure it out. But figuring it out is hard and it's difficult. So I think it's time to open the garage and let people know, yes, we have a problem. But good thing is now there is awareness. There are executive level kind of positions which are created. So CDOs or CAOs, chief analytics officers, or CISOs, and now they will have hopefully the say in the organization and the resources needed to clean this garage. So this is kind of my garage story. I have seen it over 25 years with 4 different companies. And finally, I have the courage to admit that I have a messy garage.
Okay, we love you, Nick, right? This is right, and this is an intervention. So we love you, we support you, and I probably, for our audience, we probably have that garage as well. And part of the solution is to, like you said, to really open that garage for executives and let's say get the light through that black box and not, promising things that you cannot really deliver, right? As at the end of the day, it fails us. So what we need to do is, and this is your strategy, right?
Correct. So we have to start somewhere. And that is the thing. If you want to get truly realize the potential of the data. Now, the challenge is your organization keeps generating data at a faster rate than you can keep up. So multiple softwares on multiple technologies, plus the IoTs that push the boundary. Now with the social media and external data, so not only what you generate inside, but what is coming outside that you want to leverage, all that, if you want to effectively manage and use data, you need to organize this garage, because otherwise you will always be behind and not truly able to leverage the power of data. So to me, it's like now I have 5, 10 hammers, but they are all lost in this garage. And next time when a nail pops up, I'm looking for the hammer. I'm spending a lot of time searching for the hammer. The easy answer is buy a new one, because this nail is popped up and I have to do something about it. You end up buying a new one, hammer the nail, put it in the garage, which is already messy, and it just not the right way. So I think it's time to organize the garage. It is absolutely necessary. And hopefully someday we all have a nice, neat, clean, organized garage like you are showing here. That's a dream. Even if we get halfway there, I think it's going to be a success in my view. Uh, Hopefully some of you can reach this nirvana state, so to speak. But yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. So how do you get there? So given, we can both relate to this, and you talked about, 20 to 30 years of legacies, that you have a scattered data landscape. We have the old one, the legacy, the new technologies that you need to add because you need to
Keep
handle
up.
them to keep
Yeah.
up. Exactly. And there is a thing, oh, everybody's speaking about Databricks. Okay, have to have Databricks. It's a great technology. And we have to move on to have also Tableau and not just Cognos, and to have Power BI and enabling that self-service, because the business is starving for insights on one hand. On the other hand, you have to sort out your garage. You have to organize it because regulation is pressuring you to be compliant. You're aware about the cost. And that story that you talked about, the garage, I can't say it. Now imagine that you need to move your garage to a new shiny one in the cloud. Okay. It's not really in the cloud, it's just someone else's garage. Let's face it.
which
Right.
is which can be expensive depending on
Right.
how much stuff you are carrying with you.
Right, exactly. So you're moving this to the cloud, to somebody's else cloud, somebody says garage, and guess what? Now, after the first month, you're getting, a very heavy fat bill that you need to pay because you just moved your unorganized, maybe garbage garage to the cloud without that awareness that you'll pay even more. So there is a struggle, and we need a strategy. Okay, so
And
that's
that's a very good point, Zanet.
right.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but like you said, life happens, meaning, you
Mhm.
know, you get a better opportunity, better job, your kids go to different state, different college, what have you. So things keep changing, like technologies keep coming, newer, better things in life happens. And now you have this garage and now you're moving and you get movers and it's expensive, right? So now moving to cloud, again, what do you do? If you carry all the workload that you have, which you may or may not be using, you don't know, you don't have time. And every time the mover is making a box and labeling it, it's going to cost you. And then they are transferring it into your new place, it's going to cost you. So but again, life happens. You cannot say to, oh, I don't want new opportunity. I don't want to relocate. It just situation forces you to do it. And yeah, we all carry this kind of messy garage and it's expensive. Not everything is utilized. There is definitely a room for improvement, effective way of using your data. And like I said, for me, the key is one is the cost side. But the biggest thing, the reason why I'm in this journey and I will continue to be, is the value. Value. We are not able to generate the value that we want from our data. And that is, to me, is a bigger reason why we need to clean this garage. Because, and like we discussed before, in data, your value multiplies in factorials. It's not addition. So you can connect two data sets. You can answer data in factorial. It's not 1 + 1, 2, but then 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. But in terms of data, it's 3 times 2 times 1. So you can answer 6 questions when you have 3 data sets organized and collected and cleansed better. You do 4, you have factorial effect. It's not addition. So the value that you can generate is the bigger reason, like I said, to me, in cleaning this garage.
Wonderful insight. So it brings us to your strategy. So
Yes,
you told me about a meeting that you had, and eventually you need to serve the business, right?
exactly. Exactly. That is the thing. We rather than seeing our effort as sort of, cost center or trying to optimize things
Mhm.
and, trying to manage things, we want to become value generator for our organization. And for us to do that, we should be able to work at the pace of the business teams that want us to work with them, partner with them, and become more, like I said, more value generator. So we looked at it and we are like, yes, there are certain low-hanging fruits that, we can easily look at it and say, let's start cleansing. The challenge was we did not have, like, efforts will be made in more of a manual way,
Mm.
one point at a time, collect things, see what is good, not good, but sustaining that and giving that visibility to everyone was a constant challenge till you and I kind of talked to each other. I explained all this to you, what I'm trying to do, why I'm trying to do all this. And then we started going in this journey of, what's the best way to attack this problem? It's a scary garage, but
Mhm.
which area we think we can enter in and kind of start cleaning, and what is the best way to kind of prioritize and start this journey.
So let's say that you have this continuous approach of data cleansing, and we speak to other customers as well. And sometimes I hear I have a project, let's do a project. But the secret is in a continuous pace that you have a stable way to run with the cleansing, let's say not project, but it's part of the daily. And question is
Absolutely.
how? How? Because we know that we're being pressured to find that hammer right now. I don't have the time right now to start organizing everything, to find all 9 hammers that maybe I bought them. I just need one right now. So as you said, I'm going to the store. I will buy one. So we have that pressure. We don't have a choice. We need to, cope with the demand, but we're not stopping for a second. So it's inevitable to have that big project at the beginning, right? Or it could be something that is more focused, another alternative. And let's say how will we start and how we continue. So for today, we're trying to solve that problem first, but there are many ways. Um, at the end of the day is serving the business, staying too close to the business. And you've mentioned something very interesting. So how do you know, for example, what is important? What is the most loved hammer in the house? Okay, I'm taking this as an example. Is it the best one? Is it the one that was just last used because it's just there? Or the most sophisticated one that it's a better one, is just hidden and it wasn't used for a year because nobody found it? Uh, this is a bigger question. And if you go to the business and eventually you start asking questions, I can tell you another secret. Because I'm a product manager, you'll end up in creating a new report, like a new shiny report, because they want something maybe new.
That's
And
a new
then
hammer.
that's a new hammer, right? So why should I
Absolutely.
bother go to find that old one and start to adapt it and save some time, right? So it's a catch-22 approach, but it's also something about the discipline that we have because we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice anymore, any longer. There is no patience uh, because, as you said, self-service is around the corner. It's a holy grail, but it's around the corner. But we know that the CDOs today are being asked by the CEOs as a company strategy to be AI ready. So we hear about the AI readiness. It's part of our lives. We need to be ready. So how to handle it is, let's say, govern the right data products, not every data product that you have in the company. And let's see, one of the solutions that we can now come up together, right? We worked on these solutions together, is to leverage the usage and the asset consumptions that you already have to identify the most important ones for the business into a visible, centralized, trusted platform that help you to make informed decisions for the business. So on one hand, right.
So a little bit of background. So
yeah,
as you are going into it. So like you said, I kept asking business, like, what is more valuable to you? Or, can you stop till I organize my garage? You never get a good answer. What is important to you? It changes daily. So then you have to do kind of a retrospect a little bit and say, oh, where can I start? So for me, it's like I have the data assets. I have the reports. I have the query layer. I have the ETL. Let me start there. So like you said, which hammer was used last or the most? Luckily, some of these tools that we use for data visualization or reporting, they have the data that they capture in terms of usage. So that is where I said, let me figure out within my environment, let me start there. That is, entry to my garage. Nobody can see it. I will secretly go in there and let me use my information first. Let me synthesize that area first. What are the most used reports? What are the reports which are not used? Then follow the breadcrumb. Those reports, what is the query layer? What are the tables that it's using? So I inherited a lot of different technologies in my environment. And maybe some of the people who are listening to this may have similar situation. You have, Netezza, you have SQL Server, you have maybe Oracle, we have, and then you're trying to go to the cloud base because you want that elastic horizontal scalability. And so you need to start somewhere. So that is the area that we focused on, saying, let's start cleaning this space of reports first. Let's follow those breadcrumbs. And then with the data lineage that we have, follow the next layer, and at least start organizing in that direction. Hopefully, we will free up some space. At the same time, narrow it down in terms of what are the things that we want to focus on. Do some early wins, share with the business, and then hopefully they see it, the attempt, they see some cleaner space, and then they start partnering with you more and more, and you start that journey. And then you mentioned AI. Now, if I were to run AI on this garage, so I was reading an article yesterday, the Google AI is, for whatever reason, saying glue is a good pizza topping. Because garbage in, garbage out. If you run AI on this garage, you don't know what answers you are going to get. It's a scary thing. It assumes artificial intelligence. It assumes the basic intelligence is good, so I can apply artificial on it. But if the basic intelligence itself is this garage, now you apply something artificial on it, you don't know. You don't know what you're going to get.
Exactly.
But you need to get there because you will be pushed. You need to go there. So, like you said, organizing this garage is not an option anymore. You have to do it.
Exactly.
And you have to start somewhere.
Where do you start? So I was, I'm looking at the time and I want to get to the demo because I want to, visualize already the solution that we have. So we'll go to the demo. Okay. Octopi is golden standard for data lineage. And if you're not aware of it, it's actually something that runs for years. We have valuable customers like Cooper Vision, and it's fully automated. It supports complex landscapes, hybrid. If you are on that journey to move to the cloud, if you are on the journey for AI readiness, to organize your garage, and this is how we are envisioning it for you. And we worked with Nick for this. So let me get to the demo right now. We start with a basic, and I'll refresh the system. This is a demo system, just the disclaimers. As a good product that I am, it's based on synthetic data sets and systems, but it should simulate at least part of maybe CooperVision's landscape, and not only. We have a mix of, let's say, legacy, on-prem, and we have also the cloud.
A little bit of cloud, yes.
Right, a bit of cloud. And we have, as a good old companies, at least 2 BI tools. I've met even with more.
At least 2 hammers. Everybody has at least 2 hammers.
Right, at least 2. And I would imagine that if I'm asking you, just like as a good practitioner, what would be a good number of dashboard or reports that you actually use, even on a company level? Like, give me a number, like 200, 500, 1,000. What would be a good number, realistic number that you actually use right now?
Nobody knows the answer.
Nobody knows the answer. Okay.
One per employee is not good enough.
Word per employee, right? Exactly. Word per employee. It's you know what? I love this because you're being sincere. The typical answer that I get out, maybe 500 of 1,000, because pragmatically that you don't need more than that. Problem is that you have it's exponentially per employee, not the current employee, the ones that were in the company in general.
Yes.
Right? So multiply it with all the employees that in the company, because Tableau, it's very easy to use. You can create your own 200 reports and move on to maybe to another role, and then you have 200 reports that nobody used, right? So let's have this discussion like we see something. So I'm moving to let's say these are our lineages in the platform, but for the sake of the story, I'm running now just to see everything that we have harvested with the automated harvesting engine from a demo company, because this is the baseline. Like, if you go into the garage, you need to organize everything first. Let's see what we have. Let's find it. Let's open the black box. Let's find it and see what we have, if we can organize it, like clusters of things. And then, you ask yourself, how can I organize it? So you have the different types of assets, technologies you have, intelligent filters of how. And a very important part that we were recently added is someone using it or not, right? This is a discussion. I have many reports. I have Cognos reports, many of them. I have Tableau reports, workbooks and views, many of them. For the demo, we have a small data set, but let's say that we have only this number of reports. Now let's take a look. Okay, so starting to organize it, we have the clusters. And I know the reports is the starting journey. It's downstream, but he said the breadcrumbs will get there. So I'm just, observing what we have. And you have things that are being used. So, okay, I have that indication of, oh, it's being used. Let's imagine that it's March 1st. It's a cutover on end of February. But okay, it's being used heavily. Okay, it's running. Is it optimized? So I have this number here of seconds. It is in seconds. So this looks like a report that runs for 30 something hours. Does make sense? Maybe not. So this hammer, maybe it's not optimized.
No, that's how long it takes to find that hammer. Oh, which should be found like this if it was organized.
Or if it was organized, right. And you have some things that, April 2023. So question is, do I need it? So this is how you start. Okay, so, plain simple inventory. Is it being used? Okay, don't go to the business yet, because probably they won't know exactly necessary. You have the names, fine. It's a good start. But you can maybe.
Yes, and Zinat, sorry to interrupt, but if I can add, so that is where we started as well. Like, okay, I want to catalog my list of reports, but don't waste your time in cataloging something that is not used. It's a non-value add, and you are going to annoy the people who you are planning to partner with. So clean your house first. Like you said, this is the journey that we are on. First, used versus not used. I only want to document what is useful. Why waste time? Because I don't have enough resources to waste on something which is not useful. What is the most used? Let's prioritize that, because now I will get attention of somebody when I go with the fact saying, by the way, this report is used so many times. It has been used X number of times for X number of months. It's a valuable asset. I can confirm that. Now I want you to catalog it so I know what is in it. And then when we start cataloging, it's like why it's created, what is in it, who should be using it, and what is the data that is used inside. Just basic things. You start small, but you have to start somewhere and start logically.
Right. And then, okay, so this is a report. Let's run with this example. We're looking into the actual inner system lineage of that report. Okay, we see everything here. We see the physical layer, presentation, and so forth. But now, we talk about insights. So we have a great insight. It's been used a lot. It's an important report, probably. And we saw a very weird number of the last run, right? You saw like many seconds, right? With this translates sort of around 36 hours, something. I did the math already. But now I see here another insight.
How complex it is.
Right. But I see 200 seconds. So something is, it's a median, right? It's not, something is wrong. Maybe somewhere, maybe this report was changed, or something that was fitting this report, is not working properly anymore. It's being complicated. So I have an insight. I need to optimize it, right? Okay, so let's see. Let's move on with this report for a second. Okay, I'm closing this. And I'm interested to see more information on this report. This is how we're running with a sort of impact analysis together. Let's see. So I'm moving to the dashboard. You might be now I need to find the hammer. How much time it takes me to find the hammer? Could be hours. It could be, okay, I'm going to the store. And with Octopi, I can find it easily. But how many hammers did I find? 3. And one of them is labeled with Steve. This is my hammer. Okay. So you have already 2 candidates for deletion or not. Something, we have a duplicate, and we need to pick the hammer. So let's see. Maybe this one that is the one that is being actually used. I need to optimize it. So I need to start somewhere. But what I'm picking this report on purpose. What we see here is a cross-system lineage, just like a zoom out, zoom in. This is what we're doing, Waze maps to visualize what you have. You have the report, you have the database, but this is just this is just for us to create this garage together, right? I want to see something. This is one of the tables that this report is using. We'll get into another story for a second, but this is actually, and I'm sorry, I'm going to create for you a dramatic effect right now. It's something that is maybe will make you dizzy, but this is on purpose, just to make
The garage visual was not good enough. So
right, so it's waiting for a second. So prepare for the dramatic effect. You'll see an actual garage, an unorganized garage. Okay, so now you need to find your way to run with an impact analysis. It's almost impossible to do that, right? If you are being asked right now to run with a change on an ETL, let's talk around the other way around. You need to do something else because your source system and the Salesforce, something has been changed, and you need to actually create a different way to transform your SFDC revenue data. It's just one of the tables that this ETL is feeding. So you need to run with a downstream impact analysis. How can you do that really in an optimum way if you have so many reports? So going back to organizing it is setting it on fire in that way, right? You're actually afraid to touch it. More than 900 reports just on one table. Okay, it's scary, but we deal with this on a daily basis. But at least you know, you said so. Let's face the problem. Let's open the garage. This is how it looks like. Now I'm taking another example. Let's take another example that, let's say I'm speaking to the business. No, we stay close with the business, right? Let's take another example. I'm taking, for example, okay, I'm required to make an adjustment to one of the reports. Okay. Let's see if I can find it here. Saying upfront, maybe I need to refresh the system. Just a second. It's still a demo system, so apologies. So I'm sitting with the business. I'm being requested, for example, for the region of APAC that are running with a daily sales reporting to run, as you said, product versus customers versus sales, right? So let's start with, do I need to create a new hammer? No, I found it. Yay, I found the hammer. Now what? Okay, let's see. I'm running with the first initial impact analysis. Okay, relatively solid. I even have here, the entire map. It's still limited. It's not everything is opening here. You have the upstream ETLs, you have the tables, have the report. You have also contextual links, called augmented links, to give you like a business layer, context layer of different references between the tables. But let's see this report. Okay, who's using it? Probably nobody. It was once upon a time a year ago. No, I'm exaggerating, 6 months ago. But it's a good report. I found it. I want to adjust it. Okay, so let's, and I'm required to adjust something that it's called on a product level, LVL family something. But before I'm doing this, let's see the report itself. It's scary a bit, okay? But at least I know how it looks like. Okay, so we have here the physical layer, the semantic layer. Okay, and I need to find that column, that field. How I'm doing this? Easy. Let me. Okay. A second, the Zoom is hiding. That's it. Okay. LVL. Okay, it's here. Great. Let's move this. Okay, this is a product family that I need to adjust it to some kind of calculations, but it's too complicated. Let me focus on it only on the component level. Okay, good. Let's travel. Have this understanding of the data flow within the report itself. Let's see the actual transformations. Okay, can I run with this? Okay, we have here also the business logic between the components. Okay, it's starting to be more clear for me. It's about that clarity. Remember, this is a report that is not being used, but I can adjust it instead of duplicating it. They worked hard for this report, right, Nick? It looks like a very
lot of effort was put
a
in,
lot of
yes.
effort. How much effort would you invest? Like, from an experienced professional, how much effort? And this is just a focus path analysis of this report. You see part of it. How much effort you put even in this, you have here a transformation, have the script, even this script here, right?
At least a month, I would
At
say.
least a month, right? A month effort. So why would you duplicate it? We know, one, because you didn't find it. Second, yeah, probably didn't know that it exists. But now you have this ability to do this. So you're required to make the adjustments. So we have already insights on how to use it, not duplicating again. And now let's focusing on the going to 3D of the actual asset journey. And this is the third level at Octopi. You can see it starting upstream from the source system for ETLs and to a database, and we have the actual report. And you said something very, very smart beforehand. You're a smart man in general, but you said this: don't govern everything, let's govern the right one. So now let's govern this one. So you have this in the data catalog that is being used at Octopi by a lot of customers, especially for change management. Document everything. And it's not about the data steward necessarily, that it has the fitness KPI. And it's not about the data owner that has a strategy on how to manage the data product, but the data engineers, the data developers, they need to actually, the BI developer needs to make sure that take this asset is, and is working on the documentation as well. So you run with an impact analysis, you're doing this, and you make sure that, you talk about it with your peers, and you have that collaboration to make sure that you did the right thing. And you have here all the ingredients that you need. You have the definitions of the asset. It's being audited, who adjusted this assets and when. And the most important part, you have the usage metrics right here. So, if you're turning this around, let's say you start with the catalog, the first thing that I would do is let's apply a filter to see here from the governance perspective, who's was using what and when, and what is the frequency of usage. Let's start with, that subset of not used, unoptimized something, and let's work on it as a project. But let's make sure that we have this as a, let's say, an iterative process, that you do this all the time.
Oh, yeah, this is ongoing.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because organizations continue to have requests. Users will continue to create more, but you need to start, like you said, start creating the buckets in your garage, the places, the tags that are needed to say, oh, this is where hammer goes. This is where power tools go. This is where, my power washer, what have you. But that is the thing. That is the benefit now we have with technology like Octopi, with the lineage and catalog is, it's not just one time effort that you do on spreadsheets or whatever, and then it's so hard to keep up. This is technology which will, learn, scan your environment, and you train your people in a way that it's then in your DNA. It's ongoing, and it keeps your environment or your garage clean and healthy.
Right.
So it's a journey. We have a ways to go, but I'm glad that, we are starting with this.
Okay. So we have questions. We can keep talking about this for hours, but I don't know.
With you and me, Zanat, we can talk for
Right.
hours.
We're doing this already. So I have a few questions. One of them is, how do you quantify that value of, improving? Like, are there metrics that we can monitor and enhance time to improve? And before I'm letting you answer to this, I'm saying, don't measure a one-time victory. Don't measure we successfully deliver, measure the improvements. This is how you get there, right? So how can you quantify the value? So what would be your metrics for you to monitor that improvement?
So unfortunately, I'm going to give a consultant answer because that is the best answer I have. One is, not doing it is not an option. So yes, you want to measure the benefit, but the side effect of not doing it is too much. So, and the problem is, when you created, you never kept the receipt of all your hammers. You don't know how much it cost you, meaning this environment was created. You don't know cost of each report. You don't know cost of each ETL. You don't know cost of, each table that you are querying and the infrastructure needed for it. So we never kept that inventory. So if I say I remove this much, what is the value? It's extremely hard. But, and the other thing I can say is, in the chain of creation to consumption, again, I would love to take a break from my job and do a PhD, or, it's been on my mind. Data creation to consumption cycle is extremely important. And this garage basically are the hops you go through searching your element that you want. Each hop costs you money and time. Both are important. For some organizations, money is important. They want to save money. For some organization, value is important. They want to get done, things quickly. Each hop is a barrier to that. So cleaning and creation to consumption, keeping that tight and as lean as possible, is the so-called holy grail. Now, each hop costs different for different organizations depending on the structure they have. So I did not give you the answer because as a data professional, I don't have all the ingredients to give you a good answer with facts. And so that's why I'm giving you these talking points. When you are using it to justify the investment in this area, these are the valid justifications that I have used in the past and continue to use it because it makes sense.
Great answer. Great advice. So we are already 5 minutes over the time, and so there are more questions. I invite you to contact us, LinkedIn, anything, LinkedIn is the best place, right? But reach out to us, reach out to Nick and I if you're interested to understand how Octopi is solving more problems like this. It's just one aspect of it. By all means, do that. I would like to first thank you, Nick, for the wonderful conversation discussion. We'll get back to another webinar, sooner than later for other conversations, other topics. Thank you for supporting us with this wonderful innovation. We will be launching it very soon, but it's just it's just the beginning. I think Octopi, and someone said to us, one of the customers, that we are becoming, let's say, a true metadata management platform, as a central repository for enriched metadata on metadata, right? Data on metadata is needed as well to enable us to create the metrics on, consumption and usage and cost and so much more. And the knowledge graph is becoming the foundation of that governance framework. And data lineage is precisely that. It is a knowledge graph. You have the flows, you have the basic data objects, you have the metadata, but the data on the metadata will drive you that business continuity and the improvement that you're seeking to, but the end of that journey to get there to that organized garage. Right, Nick?
100%, 100%.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Zinette, for again this chat. Thank you for keeping it real, informal, and nothing is scripted. You were very adamant about it. Let's just, like
Right.
we meet every week, let's just keep our meeting. It's
Right.
just more people
Right.
looking at it, and hopefully will give us more feedback in terms of what challenges that they are facing, what are some of the things that they have used to clean their garage. They can share with us, and certainly we can leverage their experience and their suggestions, their input to make the product better and overall make all the data professionals their life better in future.
Okay. So to all, thank you for participating. Thank you very much for your time. I see also here, thank you. Instead of a question, we have thank you. Thank you, guys. We'll get the recording as well. Please approach us for everything, for anything. Have a nice day. Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zanet.
Bye.
Take care.